Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Niall O'Connell. This is a reaction video to the news that Filip Hrgovic and Daniel Dubois will face off on June the 1st in Saudi Arabia on the undercard of Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev, which is obviously for the undisputed light heavyweight titles. Now, another big heavyweight matchup. It feels like we're kind of getting used to saying this in terms of what we've seen in the last few months, particularly in these fights in Saudi Arabia. Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker being one of them, Deontay Wilder versus Zhilei Zhang being another, Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin. These big heavyweight fights keep on coming. Give us your thoughts on this one.
I love this fight, to be honest. I think it's a really intriguing fight. It's a fight that I couldn't really see happening, or I didn't think we needed until it was announced that it was happening. I think it's fascinating. There's a fascinating clash of styles between the two. The raw aggression of Dubois and the amateur pedigree and the schooling of Hrgovic. And also, it's make or break really for both men. I think at this level, I think whoever loses this is going to have a long way back. Hrgovic will be the favorite, and probably rightly so. But he has a lot of kind of questions to answer about himself. He's flattered to deceive massively as a pro, and Dubois is coming in with the confidence of kind of the controversy against Usyk. A lot of people think he should have won with the low blow slash body shot, and then the win over Jarrell Miller. So yeah, I think this is a really intriguing fight, and of course on a huge card, which I can't wait for. Yeah, I'm buzzing for this one.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one. I want to get into the fight in a little bit now, but one thing I wanted to get your opinion on is the IBF Anthony Joshua situation here. Obviously we've got Fury Usyk happening on May the 18th. This is happening 2 weeks later. At the time that we were recording this video, we were kind of assuming that it's not for the IBF title, although the IBF is supposed to become vacant within a week of the Fury Usyk fight happening. We've been told for a while that the plan was possibly for Joshua to face Hrgovic for the IBF title. It's hard to see that fight happening until kind of I don't know, September, October time, if Hrgovic is to beat Dubois. Therefore, personally, I'm a bit surprised this fight's happening, because if you're Hrgovic, would you not prefer to fight Joshua for a world title? Maybe not. It's a confusing one to me, and kind of one of my big key questions here is: does the IBF title become vacant when after Fury Usyk fight, and therefore who's gonna fight? Is Joshua gonna wait and fight the winner of this fight? Is Joshua going to fight someone else for the IBF title? I'm really confused. Can you clear it up for us? Can you give your opinion on what's going to happen?
It is a really interesting situation, as you mentioned. If you're Filip Hrgovic, it's crazy that you kind of take this fight with no kind of title on the line rather than wait for an AJ fight. But I am glad to see him taking this kind of dangerous fight while he's waiting. While he is waiting for that IBF opportunity to kind of manifest itself, which I do think the IBF title will become vacant after Fury Usyk, and that does open it up then for AJ to fight more than likely the winner of this, to be honest. If it is to be Hrgovic, especially. So it's a strange situation. It really is. In terms of Joshua, I can't see him waiting until, as you mentioned, September, October to kind of fight again. So I could see him fighting the likes of a Dillian White, to be honest, who came back last week. I can see that fight happening. It was meant to obviously happen last year, but the controversy that occurred there. But Dillian White is back now, so I could see Joshua fighting White while he's waiting for the winner of this one. But I am very surprised, as I mentioned, that Hrgovic has taken this Daniel Dubois fight as opposed to waiting to see the resolution of what's happening with the IBF title in the wake of Fury and Usyk.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? But yeah, I'm sure more details will be revealed soon. Getting onto the fight, Niall. What does we'll speak on Daniel Dubois. What does he need to do here? We saw him stop Jarrell Miller in the final seconds of the final round back in December. We saw him kind of have that controversial defeat to Alexander Usyk, but He did pretty much lose every round in that fight in August. What Hrgovic is an undefeated fighter, maybe hasn't had the best performances in the last couple of years. Arguably should have lost to Zhilei Zhang. What do you think Dubois needs? What do you think Dubois needs to do here?
I think Dubois needs to, quite simply, I think he needs to put it on him right from the start. He knows he's not going to outbox Filip Hrgovic. And what he needs to do is he needs to get right on him and kind of, you know, expose the questions that people have about Filip Hrgovic's kind of mentality. It's an interesting one as Dubois' mentality has been brought into question previously, with the Joyce fight. But I think Filip Hrgovic has a serious kind of mentality issue. We seen against Zhilei Zhang when it got put on him, he didn't want to know. It looked like he just did not want to be in there, whatever is the cause of that. And even against Dempsey McKean, he just showed so much kind of disdain and boredom almost in there. Like, yeah, I'm so far above this level of fighter that I just, he just coasts. And as I mentioned, Zhang put it on him, and he really didn't want to know. So I think Dubois really has to put that to the test and put it on him early. Get right on his chest, bang away to the body, don't let Hrgovic dictate the pace, get into a rhythm, stuff like that. Just as I say, he's not going to outbox Hrgovic. He has to kind of stop him. Daniel Dubois has to stop Filip Hrgovic here for me. Of course, that opens up Daniel Dubois for, you know, a lot of kind of frailties of his own, in terms of a gas tank issue, if he kind of empties the tank too early or gets picked off coming in. But yeah, I think Dubois really needs to get on him and rough him up early here and look to get him out early, because if it goes to points, there's only one winner.
Yeah, no, look, it's an intriguing one. Looking forward to kind of discussing some betting odds when they come out, to be honest. I'm going to find those very interesting, as well as people's predictions live when it comes to fight night. That being said, Niall, gonna ask for an early prediction. I'll go first, and it's a difficult one. And the fact it's a difficult one is a good thing, because I think we want fights where people, not everyone's going for the same person to win, and we're getting that with these big heavyweight fights. I've always been a big Dubois fan. I feel like he's been managed badly in his career. The Joyce fight happened too early. Shouldn't have fought Usyk. He was never really realistically going to win that fight. And I'm edging towards Dubois here. I think he can do it. I think he can stop Hrgovic in the middle rounds. What do you think? What's your early prediction now?
It's an interesting prediction, that, and it is a dangerous fight for Filip Hrgovic. It really is, and full respect to kind of Queensbury as well to put Dubois in this fight. It's a very dangerous fight for Daniel Dubois, and I really respect him thinking that he can go in there and do a job on Filip Hrgovic and believing in him. So I just think Filip Hrgovic, when it's said and done, will be too well schooled for him, just too well schooled and too clever. It wouldn't surprise me, would if Dubois kind of gave him problems, gave him real problems with his strength and his power, and especially if Hrgovic does have kind of these mentality issues, and if he tries to coast again against Dubois, Dubois really grown confidence here, but I just think he'll be too sharp, too clever, and too well skilled. So I think he'll win this on points, maybe 116, 112 type of range, but I don't think Dubois is going to disgrace himself at all. I just think Hrgovic will be the favourite for a good reason, and he'll get it done. But if Dubois was to go in and knock Filip Hrgovic out, well, that'll be a major statement and an incredible win for Dubois. So yeah, it's a dangerous fight for both, but I think Hrgovic on points for me here.
Fantastic. Look, we disagree. We'll see what predictions are come June the 1st. But yeah, look, other fights to preview here, as well as obviously the big one between Bivol and Beterbiev. So really looking forward to that one as well. Now, good to speak to you. I'm sure we'll speak again soon, but in the meantime, take care.